I gripped the steering wheel of my old Ford pickup, knuckles turning white as the wipers battled the relentless snow flurries whipping across the windshield. It was early April in the Colorado Rockies, where spring teased you with wildflowers one day and buried you in white the next. Winter here didn't bow out gracefully. It clung like a bad habit. The custom red velvet cake sat shotgun, nestled in a warmer blanket I'd rigged up, because Haley deserved nothing less for her engagement bash. My little sister, always the golden child, was worth every treacherous mile from my Denver apartment to the family ranch near Aspen. Family ties ran deep in these parts, thicker than the pine forests lining the highway. My phone buzzed with another weather alert, severe storm intensifying. Travel advisory, stay off the roads. I chuckled under my breath. Necessary was a flexible word when it came to kin. I'd woken at 3 a.m., scrolling radar maps on my laptop while coffee brewed. The forecaster's grim warning echoed. This could dump 2 feet in the passes. Non-essential travel could be deadly. But Haley's party? That was essential. I'd packed my rig like a pro. Chains on the tires, emergency kit with flares, blankets, and energy bars in the back. My job as an art conservator at the Denver Museum had drilled that into me. Preservation demanded preparation, whether it was saving a faded frontier painting or outrunning a squall. The baker in Boulder had eyed me like I was nuts when I picked up the cake at dawn. You're braving this for a party? Must be some sister. I'd forked over $150 with a grin.
The best. Now.
Hours in, I'd stopped 6 times to chisel ice off the wipers, my boots crunching on fresh powder at truck stops along I-70. The mountains loomed like silent guardians, their peaks lost in the swirl. Text to Haley went unanswered. Halfway there, battling the white stuff. But ETA soon. No worries, I figured she was knee-deep in party prep. As the ranch came into view, the storm eased just enough to reveal the sprawling spread, log beams, stone fireplaces, and floor-to-ceiling windows glowing with lantern light against the snowy backdrop. Dad had built it from scratch after striking it rich in oil back in the 80s, a true Western dream. A valet huddled under the overhang, clipboard in hand. Catering, he asked, peering in. Nope, I said, cradling the cake. Family. Riley Thompson, the bride-to-be's big sis. He checked his list twice, brow furrowing, then took my keys with a shrug. Stepping inside, the warmth hit like a hug, melting snow from my coat onto the slate floors. Voices murmured from the great room, clinking glasses and laughter echoing off the timber walls. I scanned for familiar faces. Mom's perfectly coiffed bob, Dad's broad shoulders in his BOLO tie, Haley's infectious grin. Guests in cowboy boots and cocktail dresses turned as I entered, conversations pausing. Then I spotted her, Haley in a sleek white dress, champagne in hand, her eyes widening like she'd seen a ghost. Riley?
You
made it through that mess. Her hug was quick, perfunctory, her floral perfume clashing with my road-weary scent. Mom materialized behind her, twisting her turquoise necklace, a habit when things got tense. We weren't expecting. The storm. Her whisper carried like a canyon echo. Dad cleared his throat. This is Riley.
Folks.
Haley's older sister. The words hung awkward, guests nodding politely before resuming their chats. I made for the gift table, cake in tow, passing place cards etched in elegant script, Andersons, Blackwells. But no Thompson for me. My heart dipped, but I steadied it, maybe an oversight. A bridesmaid in pearl earrings eyed the box. That doesn't match the dessert spread, she muttered. Not quietly enough. I placed it carefully, fingers lingering on the lid. Excuse me. I needed the ladies' room. The ranch hallways twisted like old mining tunnels, lined with family photos and Western art I'd helped restore. My phone pinged, a group chat I didn't recall. Haley's big day vibes. My number was there. Probably by accident. Curiosity won. I scrolled. Haley's message from weeks back. Riley doesn't fit the vibe. We'll blame the guest list cap. Another. Storm's a bonus. She won't risk it. The words hit like a rock slide. I leaned against the wall. Breath shallow. In my line of work, you learn to spot forgeries, the real story under the gloss. Laughter drifted from the kitchen. Haley's voice, slurred with bubbly. She hauled ass through that blizzard for a cake? What if she'd wrecked? Peace and quiet at last. Her bestie,
Tara.
cackled. Thoughts and prayers. Y'all. Glasses clinked. My world tilted. All those years, bailing Haley out of jams. Co-signing her first truck loan when parents said no. Skipping my own dreams to prop hers up. It cracked like old varnish under a UV light. A kind-faced caterer touched my arm. You okay?
Hon.
I nodded, but asked if she'd mind recording a snippet, just for proof. In Colorado, one-party consent made it legal. No harm intended. She returned minutes later, phone in hand. I slipped out, coat on, into the fading storm. The valet looked concerned. Roads are slick, but the chill outside beat the frost inside. I drove off. Cake forgotten. Party lights shrinking in my mirrors. Some family bonds were illusions, fragile as fresh snow. The Pine Ridge Motel sign flickered against the dusk. A neon beacon off the highway. 20 miles from the ranch felt like a world away. The clerk slid me a key without a word about my rumpled dress or streaked makeup. Room 12 smelled of pine cleaner and quiet, no frills. Just honesty. I peeled off the heels, stared at my reflection. A woman who'd crossed mountains for love, only to find rejection. Memories flooded, teaching Haley to ride horses at 10, her falling and me taking the blame, covering for her teen rebellions while I studied late. Years of being the reliable one, diminished to keep her shining. Tears came, not rage, but release, clarity in the storm's wake. Morning light pierced the motel curtains. Snow-glazed mountains sparkling like diamonds under a blue sky. I powered on my phone, dozens of notifications. Mom, you caused a scene. Dad, disappointing. Riley, Haley, ruined my night again. Not one asked if I'd made it safe. Instagram loaded Haley's posts, glam shots with friends. Parents toasting. Caption, perfect night with my real ride-or dies. Family forever. The empty spot where I should have been stung like salt in a cut. I posted my own. The cake in my truck at dawn. Windshield iced over. A motel selfie in sweats. Caption, drove through hell for family, sometimes they don't drive back. Comments poured in. Old neighbors. Cousins. Knew they pulled this on Aunt Clara last reunion. You've got spine. Girl, proud of ya. My phone rang, voicemail from Mom. Delete that post. What will folks think? Dad texted. Keep it in the family. Haley, you're out of the wedding if you don't. A family text. Brunch at the lodge. 10 a.m. Fix this or else. I replied, I'll be there, with the full story. Coffee from the diner next door steamed in my hands as I watched semis plow the highway. Mom had always preached image over mess, staging photos.
Curating tales.
No more. I'd show the raw canvas. At the Aspen Lodge.
Skikrot besteld.
But our corner table felt like a showdown. Haley, eyes puffy, Launched in Family Sticks Together. Riley. We can move past if you apologize.
I stood firm.
I crossed the passes in a whiteout for you. No seat.
No welcome.
No worry if I spun out. Mom reached for calm. You're overreacting. I played the recording. Haley's words echoed. What if she'd wrecked?
Peace at last.
Color drained from their faces. Haley grabbed for the phone. Dad boomed. That's illegal. One-party consent here. Dad, check the law. I laid out receipts. Gas slips for 400 miles. Cake invoice with for Haley's perfect day. I would have mailed the cake with love, but not risked my neck for ghosts. The table next to us whispered. A server hovered. I walked out, heels echoing on wood floors.
Outside.
They chased, Mom pleading, Dad thundering, Haley tear-streaked. My truck roared to life, heat blasting away their chill. Bridges burned, but light ahead. The drive home unwound tensions, Rockies giving way to plains. Phone buzzed, Aunt Maggie. Estranged after a family slight years back. Saw your post. About time someone called him out. Call me, we've got tales. Cousin Jake, they did me dirty at Grandpa's funeral. Strength to ya. Even Haley's fiancé. Luke, need to talk patterns. Back in Denver. My loft felt like sanctuary, no obligations. I boxed family photos, keeping the genuine ones. Dad teaching me to fish. Haley and me on horseback as kids. Sleep came easy. No alarms for reconciliation. Weeks blurred. Work restoring a Remington bronze. Saying no to guilt trips. Then a letter from Luke. Heard fragments about you. Always qualified. The storm story opened eyes. Haley and I are in therapy. Dynamics are toxic. If they erased you, what else? Respect your truth. I replied. Appreciate it. Reality over facade. Wishing y'all clarity. A call came midweek. Haley. Voice raw. Jealousy ate me up. Riley. You were always so.
You.
Independent. Mom and Dad pitted us. And I played along. Didn't invite you cause you'd outshine. A pause. Therapy's unpacking it. Hard. But needed. Good start, I said. Relationships cost effort, not one-sided. Silence mended a thread. Pigeons cooed outside. Something shifted. Autumn hit. Aspens golden. My place hosted friends. Potluck with chili.
Cornbread.
Laughter filled gaps once held by family drama. Phone buzzed, Mom. Thanksgiving at the ranch. Your spot's set. Olmy would have jumped. Now, I decide on my terms. The scent of sage and pine filled my loft as I brewed tea. Watching Denver's skyline twinkle. 6 months post-blizzard. Life hummed with simplicity. Museum shifts preserving Native American artifacts. Hikes in the foothills. Boundaries firm as canyon walls. Haley's calls grew regular, not please, but real talk.
Dr.
Ellis says our family's got enmeshment issues, blurring lines till someone's erased. I listened, shared my sessions with my therapist.
Ben.
Healing's a trail, not a sprint. One evening, Dad called, first in months. Riley,
We.
missed you at the summer barbecue. His voice cracked. The oil tycoon facade slipping. Mom's seeing someone too. Admitting patterns. I didn't rush forgiveness. Actions over words. Dad. Show up differently. Luke proposed a neutral meet. Coffee in Vale.
Midway.
Haley arrived first. Hugging tight. No more games. Mom and Dad followed.
Tentative.
We favored Haley to protect her. Hurt you instead. Mom admitted. Eyes wet. Dad nodded. Pride blinded us. We talked hours, grievances aired, apologies raw. No quick fix, but a start. Ben's lesson echoed. Forgiveness frees you.
Not them.
Back home, I baked apple pie simple.
No frills.
Friends gathered. Stories flowed. You're glowing.
Riley, Sarah said.
My cousin's circle expanded. Weekly Zooms with Aunt Maggie. Jake, truth tellers rebuilding ties. Thanksgiving loomed. I drove up. Storm-free skies. The ranch glowed welcoming. Place card. Riley, loved sister. Dinner mixed laughs. Tears. Haley raised a glass. To honest starts. Light lesson sunk in. Families like the Rockies, rugged, but navigable with truth and grace. As snow dusted the peaks, peace settled. Bonds mended. Stronger for the breaks. I added reflections on Western values, self-reliance,
Community.
memories of ranch life, legal clarity on boundaries, no more co-signing without consent. Humane talks on therapy benefits. Winter returned gently. Flurries dancing like cottonwood seeds. My museum exhibit on Western frontier art opened. Guests included Haley, who beamed. Proud of you.
Cease.
Therapy bridged gaps. Family session started. Unpacking decades of favoritism rooted in dad's tough upbringing. Mom's fear of loss. We projected, they confessed. I shared my scars, feeling invisible. Always the fixer. A hike with Haley sealed shifts. Remember riding the back 40 as kids? She asked. Boots crunching snow. You always led, I followed. Resenting it. Honesty flowed. Jealousy's poison. But truth's the antidote. We laughed over old fights. Vowing better. Luke's wedding plans adapted, smaller.
Inclusive.
I stood as maid of honor.
No gralles.
Reception toasts highlighted growth. Storms test us. Grace rebuilds. Friends noted my calm. You've claimed your space. Ben affirmed. Lesson learned. Healthy love reciprocates. Spring bloomed. Ranch visit for Easter. Games. Stories, real connection. Light lesson. Forgiveness isn't forgetting, but choosing peace over pain. Summer sun baked the plains. I hosted a barbecue. Family mixed with friends. Laughter echoed.
No facades.
Haley announced therapy breakthroughs. We're breaking cycles. Dad grilled steaks. Sharing vulnerabilities. Mom planted flowers with me, whispering, thank you for the wake up. A year from the blizzard. Life balanced. Work promotions. New hobbies like horseback therapy. Bonds deepened. Humane understanding prevailing. Final reflection. In the West, trails fork. Revenge leads to isolation. Grace to horizons. The light lesson? Families worth fighting for. But only with mutual respect. Truth heals. If we let it.